Hello everybody! Today for Fairy Tales, we're going to see how I draw Pinocchio from the Adventures of Pinocchio. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you'd want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out for myself, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, this is not Disney. Understand that. It is the craziest story you've ever heard, though. So, I did my research, and I looked up Pinocchio, or The Adventures of Pinocchio. That's the name of the book, apparently, or the story. The Adventures of Pinocchio. It is the craziest, cuckooest thing I have ever heard. I don't know how someone came up with it. Well, I mean, obviously someone just made something up. That's how they came up with it. What I was going to say is I don't know how someone came up with this, but I mean, I do. You just, you know, create stories. That's how you come up with it. But the point is, it is the people eating each other and burning wood and all kinds of crazy stuff is in there. Just go find it. I see where Disney got its influence, like where its original storyline came from. I get it, but it's crazy. It's, like I said, it's one of the craziest things I've ever seen or heard. For some reason, if I were to tell you the Disney version, you know, there's a cricket, and it's talking, and it's the conscious of him, and all that stuff. I guess it's understandable that that's a crazy story too. Oops, my paper's coming loose. But it's just, I guess I've grown up with that, so that's what I've always known as just the story, you know. But in general, it is a pretty crazy story, and he's kind of a jerk. I'm not gonna lie. In the story, he's kind of a. I mean, he's a, and that's, I guess that's what it is. It's a story about, you know, learning kindness and whatnot. But it's just, again, a crazy story with talking, was there cats and foxes and Geppetto goes to jail. I mean, it's all kinds of crazy. But I mean, I guess I'm being too literal of it, or too I'm not being too literal of it, because the story is crazy when you break it down. I'm being too judgmental over it because, like I said, the idea of a wooden boy coming to life, or a piece of wood coming to life, even that doesn't make a lot of sense. They say he started talking as the guy was starting to build him, and so the guy that was building him kind of freaked out and gave the wood that was complaining or screaming to Geppetto, but Geppetto still made him. So in so many words, does that mean that Geppetto still created him while he was screaming? Because the piece of wood was screaming, apparently. So I'm trying to go for, like, if it was made of wood, like, where would it hinge? What would work? So sorry if I get quiet, but I'm just trying. And you know what's funny is I've actually done something like this. I did a wooden boy, and that I made literally out of firewood and twigs and stuff like that. This I'm trying to go for like as if he was carved into more of a human shape. Like my wooden boy one was very still made out of a tree. This, I guess I'm going for more puppet boy. But I'm still trying to play around with the idea of like, well, okay, but what would move? Where could he have movement? Like he's got to have some kind of toe, right? Because he's got to be able to bend his foot. But I think that's good for my sketch. Let me erase some of these sketch lines and we can get going. Because what I like to do is I like to put my original sketch lines of just the 3 P's: placement, position, and proportions, right? I thought placement and position was the same thing, but it's not really. It's where I put them and the way I put them, right? But anyway, my first few lines are just me just getting a sketch, just trying to find those, and then when I get more confident with the 3 P's, I start pressing harder. And as I press harder, those lines are the confidence lines. So when I erase lightly like this, the sketch disappears, but the confidence stays. And if you do that with your life, get rid of your sketchiness, keep your confidence, you'll go far and do amazing things. And I'll be right there to cheer you on, my fantastic friend. I say we welcome everybody that skipped and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but a pen's a little finer than the fine point. You can find things that the fine point can't quite find. I sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. And if you want to see more fairy tale creatures, check out that playlist right there, or just check out the playlist in general because I do so many that I may have already drawn what you're looking for. So I'm just going to jump right in and just start with his eyelids, because I've got him, if these are his eyes, I've got him turned and slightly up like that. So think of it that way. Eyes this way and like that, okay? So I'm gonna draw the top of his lids like this. And I've got him kind of shocked and surprised. So I'm gonna kind of draw them a bit higher, right? Then I'm gonna draw the retina, the color part, like that, kind of wide-eyed, because his nose is gonna be growing. So I kind of want it to be like a what's going on? What are those? You know? So for the bottom of the eye, I'm just going to kind of come in just a little bit like that and imply where it's going. I'll let color do more of that, but I don't want to draw too much because I don't want it to bleed. And so let's give him like the bridge of his nose. You're going to see it like this. And then I'm going to give him big, thick eyebrows because I want him to be almost like wooden eyebrows, like a ventriloquist puppet kind of thing. Like they move, you know what I mean? There we go, not bad. I think I should draw his nose. Yeah, I'll use this Sharpie. So it's not going to be straight. I'm just gonna eyeball it and see what happens. But I want it to be all the way out here. So I'm more of a puller than I am a pusher. So let's see if I can pull it towards that. Or maybe I should use a ruler. I don't know. Let's eyeball it. Let's just see what happens. Gotta aim. Oops, it's a little crooked. That's okay, because you know what? It's wood, and it just grew. Perfect. Let's. I've got it curved up a little bit. I think that would give it a little bit of a personality. right? Because it's not a perfect like broom handle or anything that's perfectly straight or anything like that. It's wood and it just grew. So let's draw a nostril like this. One over here, the other one you can't quite see. But I do want to thicken up my lines a little bit. So let me draw the outer edge of his head like this. And I'm going to thicken up this line. You don't have to do this. I'm just explaining to you why I draw how I draw. Because when I switch over to this Sharpie, you're going to see a huge difference in line width. So I'm trying to match kind of where it's going to go, but I'm trying not to go too crazy. So I'm just doubling back over my line. You don't have to do this, especially if you're working with pencil. It may look a little strange to double back over your lines. Again, I'm just explaining to you why I draw how I draw. And so see, sometimes it's not perfect, and that's okay. It's an imperfect world. We're just getting by with how we can. Ooh, too thick. That's okay. Let's see if I can straighten it out a little bit. Not straighten it out, but thicken it up, even it out. Something like that. There you go. What's funny is I should have just ended up using the big Sharpie. That's how thick I got. Let's see. I can see a little bit here in the middle. There we go. Okay, that'll work. So I've got him with a jaw that's hinged. So I'm going to draw his mouth over like this. And this is going to be his jaw. Right? And I've got it hinged with a bolt. Some kind of something. Who knows what it is. But I figured that's how he can talk. And I was talking about this during the sketch of like, how am I going to make him movable? Because if it's wood, in so many words, I mean, it's already impossible that it's talking and moving and that kind of thing. But it's not flexible. For some strange reason, I'm able to believe that it's talking and moving more than I am able to believe that it's flexible for some strange reason. Here's his ear. And I don't know why. I don't know why my thinking is like that, but when it comes to flexible, it's like, no, he can't move. Wood doesn't bend. But it's just funny because also wood doesn't talk, you know, but I'm steadfast on one but not the other, you know, it's crazy. Now I want like his hair to be formed as well, like almost like it's carved out of the wood, like little hair chunks, right? So that's kind of what I'm going for here, is like it's a solid piece, and he gave him kind of like extra on top to make it look like hair. Kind of like Woody from Toy Story. You know how his hair is just a little pointier up on top, even though it's a solid, you know, toy piece kind of thing. That's the idea. All right, so I'm going to build from here. Draw his neck down. And this is where we're going to have to give a little, because obviously the neck won't move, but somehow it does. I'm going to draw his chest. It is one piece. And let's go ahead and draw, I guess, this part first, because usually I like to draw what's in front. That way when you draw what's behind, there's only so much you can do. Again, because these are wooden chunk pieces, there's only so much that we're really going to be able to draw as well. So we're going to give him a shoulder, like this, an arm, or I guess a bicep, to the forearm. Let me go ahead and connect some of this right here. We're going to connect it in like that, wherever that goes. And he's not wearing a shirt. Basically, that's why I've got him bare like this. So for his arm, I'm going to give him some kind of pivoting, almost like a glove, for a wrist, and then the forearm. And the forearm is on a joint too. So I'm just going to draw a little circle in there with a small Sharpie to show that it's like, ooh, let's do one here too, to show that that's a hinge, right? That's where it bends. Let's also do one here, right? And for his hand, big bulky wooden pieces. So I'll come up here like this. Here's his thumb. And I'm just going to kind of do something like this, because that's where it's going to connect. Pinky's out. Again, just bulky wooden finger joints, right? And then we're going to say that this is kind of comes out here, goes in. I think that's good. Again, there's not much else I can really do because it's just chunky wooden fingers. All right. So let's do this one over here. So there's going to be this shoulder, like that. Same thing, the bicep to that part. Now you're going to put that on top, right? So come down there like this. And then since I have that on top of this one, I kind of have to do that next. And then bring it back over here, or go to there. It's hard for me to decide which way I'm going to go because I really would love to turn the paper at this point, but I can't. I'm taped down. This table is too big for me to like move around, you know? So maybe I need to work on that. I need to figure out how to be able to turn my paper. It's so much easier. It's so nice to do that. Same thing, we're going to do some kind of, it looks almost like a glove end, right? Just some kind of hinge that it would turn like that and then would bend, you know? And same thing, we're just going to do a bulky hand. That's good. And again, we're just doing this. He's kind of mystified that his nose is growing. So I'm just kind of going with just a handout, you know, nothing too crazy. There you go. I like that. Okay, so I've got pants on him, at least. So I'm going to draw his ribs or his waist. And so again, if I want him to flex, I kind of want more than one joint there in the center. Like I've got to do a couple. So let's bring it down here like this. Do another one here. And we'll do it come down like that. Then I'll separate it with a smaller line, just to, again, just break up the negative, not the negative space, but the amount of thick lines that are in there, you know, just to help out with something. Color is going to really take care of more of this than anything, but I want to add more, you know, I want to do a whole bunch of lines. Okay, so I've got a belt around him, that the belt is kind of holding the pants. So let me do this. And I mean, I know that's what belt does, you know, I shouldn't have to explain to you belt hold pants. Belt hold up pants. What I mean is, watch, that the pants are kind of a bit big. That's what I mean, how they're, you know, a little bit bigger than his body. So that's what's kind of cinching them all together. So I'm going to draw one leg out like this. I'm going to make them shorts. I do know why. Because of Disney. Disney does have a little bit of an influence that you know, I wanted to give him suspenders. I wanted to give him a hat, you know, things like that. But again, that's just because of Disney. That's got nothing to do with the original story. So I'm trying to mix it up and do something a little bit different. Okay, looks good to me. Not getting too crazy because again, it's just pants. I guess I can kind of wrinkle that up to show the top is all loose and hanging over. All right, just pretty much like we did the top, we're gonna do something like that for the legs. So we're gonna come down here, giving him a knee. I feel like he needs a knee joint. And same thing, we're just going to kind of connect the limbs together with a couple of bolts, but they're not really metal bolts. When I say bolts, I feel like I mean metal, and it's not. I want like a wooden type kind of thing, something like that, you know. All right, so I'm going to give him a knee like I did there. This, that's all you can see of the leg. That's what I mean by some kind of wooden bolt. It's not really a bolt, it's a circle, a hinge, right? Is that the word I'm looking for? Who knows? Just draw, old man. You know what? There you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Pinocchio from the Adventures of Pinocchio.
So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.